What got me into homeopathy? Well, I knew a friend who lived in West Wales, and I once gave his girlfriend a lift to London. And it was late at night, and she invited me in for a coffee. And we walked into this big drawing room, and there was an oak bookcase, glass-fronted bookcase, and it was full of these amazing bottles with corks and copper plate script. I looked at her and I said, "What are they?" And she said, "They're homeopathic remedies." And I was immediately, felt as if I'd stumbled upon an alchemist's laboratory or something. It was absolutely fascinating. And, you know, it stayed with me. That initial encounter with the medicines was the first thing that attracted me to homeopathy. And then, you know, through various life events, I ended up going to see a homeopath and knew instantly that that was my calling. So it was like the first encounter was like a preliminary echo, and then having experienced homeopathy myself, I knew that that's what I'd be doing for the rest of my life. And I more or less dropped everything and started studying homeopathy. Sometimes the encounter with the patient is so exciting that it's like exploring uncharted territory. You know, anything can possibly happen. There is no format. There is no system. It's up to the patient themselves to reveal something which is fascinating. And for me, that's like a form of adventure or exploration. So I really enjoy that. I love the medicines. I love the process of teaching as well. I love everything about it. It's how wonderful to do a job that's endlessly enriching. I always knew I wanted to do it, and I knew somebody that ran a school in London, and I said, "Can I start teaching, please?" And she said, "Well, how long have you been in practice?" I said, 4 years. She said, "Wait another year, because we like people to start after 5 years." So I rang her up and said, "It's 5 years, so yeah, give me a job." So I started teaching there. That was at the London College of Classical Homeopathy, and I also started teaching in Dublin. And then in 1995, we started a school in Wales, and about 2 or 3 years later, somebody who was working at the school here invited me down to teach, which was just amazing, because having trained at this school, the most magical thing was to come back and re-engage with the school and with the students and start to teach. So I've always known I wanted to do it. It's like second nature. I love the philosophy. I like working straight from the Organelle to interpret it in terms as a process, as actually a guidebook to energy, rather than looking at it from a sort of modular perspective or just as an instruction leaflet. The Organelle actually means instrument. So I'm fascinated by the way in which it helps us to understand anything that can possibly happen in the therapeutic encounter. So I'm interested in the dynamic between the patient and the therapist and the medicine, especially. So the process of homeopathy, I guess. The Organelle is Samuel Hanuman's definitive text, which we used the 6th edition, which was his he rewrote it 6 times. And we used the 6th edition, which was his final book on how to do it, I suppose. And it's unreconstructed. So he came from an era which was pre-scientific in some sense. And he inherited a lot of ideas from sort of indigenous medicine, from alchemy, from classical philosophy, and it's all very applicable today. I'd tell him to start, because Goethe was a contemporary of Hanuman, and Goethe said, whatever you can do or believe you can, begin it, because boldness has power, genius and magic in it. So the idea is, if you're thinking about it, why not start doing it and see what happens, because it's a journey. I think the School of Homeopathy is absolutely wonderful and it feels like home to me.